Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Pushka this side, and today we are talking about a very prevalent problem in one of the biggest industries, and we are talking about construction. So Excel sheets or Google Sheets are very popular with construction teams, and that's for a good reason. If you're managing a construction project, you want your team to use a tool that is very simple. So if you're dealing with people from site, people from stores, if you're dealing with vendors all at the same time, you want a tool that everyone can understand. And Excel is that tool. If you just hand it over to your team members, they don't need any training. They can just start using it right away. So it's very simple to use and everyone understands it. Number two, you need a lot of flexibility. If you're managing a construction project, you want to manage that project your own way because every project is different, every project team is different, every project manager is different. So you want that to be reflected in your project management system. And spreadsheets or Excel sheets give you that flexibility. So if you want to add columns like budgeted quantity of material, purchased quantity of material, utilized quantity of material, you can very easily do that. And that way you can keep track of how much material you have purchased, how much of that has been used, what do you need to purchase. So you can keep track of that very, very easily. Excel gives you that flexibility. So those are a couple of reasons that make Excel sheets and spreadsheets in general very popular with construction teams. But having said that, there are some inherent problems with the use of Excel sheets and spreadsheets. So the biggest problem with using Excel sheet is the lack of connectivity. So if you're managing a construction project, you'll create a spreadsheet, you'll share it with your store team, you'll share it with your site team, and you'll have a copy with yourself. So tomorrow you can update the actual project timelines, the site team can update the actual progress, the actual work done at site. The store team may update the purchased material quantities, issued material quantities. Now all of this project data is important, and it's important that this project data is connected. But if your spreadsheets are not connected to each other by default, you'll have to manually do it. So you end up, most of the times you end up manually transmitting this data to different stakeholders, to different teams. So by default, your spreadsheets are not connected. And because of that, you end up with a lot of manual upkeep and a lot of extra manual work. So the second problem is that you will end up with a lot of different versions of the same spreadsheet. So you can end up with different versions for different stakeholders. You can end up with different versions at different dates. So for example, you will create backups of the same spreadsheet. So at different timestamps or different times, you will have different copies of the same spreadsheet. So over time, you will have many different versions of or many different copies of the same spreadsheet, and you don't know which is the latest. You don't know which one is the accurate. So you don't know what is the source of truth for your own construction project. And that is a big problem. Number three, spreadsheets are not very good at keeping track of trends. So if you open a project tracking spreadsheet, it will tell you what is the project progress today. But you don't know what was the project progress 7 days back or 30 days back, and how much have we done since then. So it's not a very good tool or not the ideal tool for keeping track of trends. It's not the best suited tool to do that. And finally, if you are working with many different versions or many different copies of spreadsheets, eventually you will have to clean up a little bit. You'll have to clean up those copies. And sometimes you can accidentally delete important information, like you can delete the latest version of your project tracking sheet. And with that accidental deletion, all of your important data is gone. And that is also a big problem. So now what do you do as a construction project manager when you want the flexibility of spreadsheets, but you also need connectivity of a modern app? You need a software to be connected to flow the data across different teams and to make the data talk to each other. But you also want the software to function easily so that your team can use it. Now, because today we can use AI to build that kind of highly customized project management platform for your team. So you can go to Fuzen's AI So you can see Fuzen is an AI engineer which will help you build business apps without any coding. So you can simply type what you need. So for example, you can just type what you need over here and you can start to create an app. But what I'm going to show you today is a shortcut. You can just go to resources, you can go to app templates. So in these app templates, you can find some pre-made templates. So I'm going to search for project management. So we can see this is a free project management template. So I'm going to help you to build a construction project management app, fully customized app for free. So you can use this free project management template as a starting point. So if you click on that button, it will install the project management app in your Fuzen account. It will take a couple of minutes and then your project management app will be ready. So this is coming from a free template. So this is a very basic project management app, but it lets you do things like you can create projects, you can create tasks. That's what I'm going to show you. So we'll just quickly create a test project. I'm going to mark myself as the project owner. So you can see that although this project management app is created with AI, you can see it saves the data. So this is production ready. It saves your data. You can save data, you can upload files. I just created a project. We can go to the project details page. You can see that this project got created and I can also start adding tasks. So this free project management template gives me a way to create and manage projects, and within those projects I can manage tasks, I can manage the project schedule, I can manage the project documents, files, images, and I can also keep track of activity logs. So in the activity logs I can see what happened within my project and when, who did it and when it happened. So these are detailed activity logs within our project management app, and all of this comes out of the box. It comes for free. So let's start by adding a task. So I'll add a test task. I'll assign it to myself. So this is a very simple task, but while adding the task, I can see that I want this to be a construction project task. So I also want to add budget and actual cost here. So I'm not able to do that. So we're going to customize this basic project management template or basic project management app by saying, I want to track budget and actual costs for each task. So we're going to add two columns, budget and actual costs for each task. So add these columns to the task creation form and also to the task table. So we want to track actual cost and budget for each task. So we're going to ask Fuzen's AI to add these columns to this table and also to this form. And this is how you can very easily customize this project management app as per your liking. And this is how you can keep it very simple. You can keep it as simple as your Google Sheet, but at the same time, you'll also have the benefits and the connectivity of a modern web application or a modern software. So now AI has done something. It has done the change that we asked for. Now you can see budget and actual cost has been added to the table. And if we go to the form, we can see that here also it has been added. So this AI works really well if you ask for some certain changes, and if you're very clear in your message, it will make those changes. So let's try this by adding a simple test task. Let's put some dates. Let's say the budget is 15,000, the actual cost, because now this task is newly created, there is no actual cost. And you can see that the task got created. So AI has added this functionality really well. There is, and when we try to create a task, all of the changes that we asked for worked the first time, worked very correctly. And the difference that you will notice here between Fuzen and other vibe coding platforms, that whatever you're building on Fuzen is production ready. It's ready to be used by your team. So right now, if you customize this app by asking AI to make certain changes, you can just make those changes. Now you saw that you're able to create projects, you're able to create tasks directly from here, you're able to upload files. So this is already in production. This is already connected to a live database. It's already connected to live storage. You can already start using this. So if you've done the customization, what you can do is you can go to, if you're building the app, you'll see this edit widget. You just hover over this pencil icon and then go to manage app settings. This is where you can invite your team members. So just go to team, and within team, you'll see an option to invite your team members. So just type their email address. You can assign them different roles. So if you want to create different roles within your app, you can create roles like admin, you can create roles like HR or admin or site engineer or store manager. You can create all those roles. And then when you're inviting your team members, you can just select what roles they should have. So if you're inviting a store manager, he will just have the store manager role. And then you can send them invite. When you send them an invite, it will send them an email. They can just click on that email, and then they can join this app, and they can immediately start using this app, and they can immediately start using this fully customized app that you have set up. And when they start using this app, I'm sure they will ask for certain improvements or certain changes, because they have been used to using your Excel sheets and Google spreadsheets. So initially you will face some resistance and they will ask for a lot of changes. But the good news is Fuzen will let you customize your app on the fly, even when it's in production. Now you saw we have added some data and it's already in production. Data is getting saved. But if I still ask for certain changes like add delete buttons for the task, right? If I want to delete any task, I want to have a delete button, which is not there. So if I ask AI to edit this app while it's in production, while it's in use, AI will edit the live app. So you can imagine you can edit this or customize this app on the fly. And because you're the app admin, you're the app editor, you'll be able to do this. So your team will tell you what they would like to do in the app or what they would like to see in the app. And then you can just ask AI, you will decide what features to put in. So you will be the filter, you will decide what features to put in. And if you want to put the delete button, you will just ask AI and AI will put the delete button. So your app is now getting edited on the fly while it's live, while it is getting used by your team, while it's in production. And that's a very powerful feature to have if you want a system that is truly flexible. So this is a system that is truly flexible thanks to Fuzen's AI. And all of the customizations that you're making on this app, all of those customizations each customization counts for a single AI credit. Once you run out of credits, you can just click here and you can buy new credits for as low as $5. So you can imagine that you can have a fully customized, production ready project management system that is set up for maybe $50 or $100 or even less than that. And once you set up your app, you only pay for hosting. So if you go to Fuzen's website, if you look at the pricing, you can look at the pricing plans, and these pricing plans are hosting pricing plans. So once you set up your app, you don't pay any monthly subscription fees, but you only pay for hosting based on your app usage. So if you're using certain server time or certain server credits, you will just pay for hosting, and this hosting cost will be very similar to what you would pay to Google Cloud or Microsoft Cloud otherwise. So this is a very inexpensive way to get your team off the Excel sheets and the spreadsheets and get them connected to a modern web application or a modern software. Now, apart from spreadsheets, I've seen many construction teams using WhatsApp very heavily for their internal coordination, like document sharing, for progress updates. They use it because it's so easy and simple to use. But having said that, WhatsApp also has its own problems. Now, would you like me to cover those problems and the solution to those problems in the next video? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.